What can be more delightful than an honest word? Greetings, my human friends. This is Rudolf of Germany, the tall white alien. Today I would like to speak about a suggestion I am making right now. In a few days I will be in Barcelona, then in Paris, and then on to some of the people who are behind the governments of the Western world, the ones you may call the shadow government, the ones who also pull the strings on your official leaders. I have seen a lot of plight, I have seen a lot of misery in the general population, and there may even be a small chance to better the circumstances of life for humankind. My tall white brothers and myself came up with a rather ingenious idea how to better all of your lives. Let me give you a little background on it. If you walk through the towns and the cities of planet Earth, and you're not going to the finest neighborhoods, the leafy, beautiful neighborhoods with mansions, where you can expect that the owners and inhabitants of these houses have a high EQ, but you go to the normal neighborhoods of the average human, to the low classes, and you see the most interesting creatures which the human race has produced. There are men and women, even juveniles by now, they are tattooed. They have tattoos on all kinds of parts of their body, whole legs and arms, and in some instances even the necks and the faces are painted up with rather silly words and pictures. To make things worse, these creatures are also piercing themselves with some kinds of metal rings and sticks inside their face to make bad things even worse. So would you suggest that these average or lower than average humans who would be willing to go through this ordeal, would you suggest that these people have any kind of higher intelligence in them? Certainly not. But these people have the right to go and vote for their government, presidents, and chancellors. What do they base their vote on? On an intensive research into politics and history? Do they in any way have any experiences in order to be allowed to do what they are doing, to casting a vote in a mass of them, masses of humans who have absolutely no experience and a less than average IQ? This is a catastrophe. My dear friends, I, Rudolf of Germany, has been contacting and in the next few days traveling very intensively and will contact more Western European leaders to suggest a change in the voting law. Only the ones who have a higher than average IQ, let's say 105 as a minimum, better 110, and have taken some classes in history, political science, and civics, and successfully made a test, only these people should be given a ID, which could be called a voter's ID or a voter's card, as they have already in America. Such people would be about 20% average of the population, and because of their higher intelligence and their knowledge about history and politics, could make much better decisions when it comes to choosing the right party or the right president or the right chancellor? Why are the shadow governments of this world, why are the creatures behind the highest politicians and bankers who are running the show on planet Earth are so afraid, including their human representatives, of the uneducated masses? Let me tell you, they are afraid of 7.2 billion humans who don't even have the faintest idea what their place on planet Earth is, and in their selfishness and in their brutality and primitivity would ruin whatever is of humanity left on this planet. This is the reason the 0.01% of humans who have a little bit of power and the forces behind them are manipulating these huge masses of human creatures by means of media and technology and mind control. So these people can be led into a direction where they believe they have a free will, which of course they don't, and vote here and there. Of course, the votes are manipulated. But at least that keeps them calm and they believe they have a say-so, and in the end, whatever comes out, it has been part of their own decision-making. So I suggest, number one, a minimum IQ of 105, better 110, should be the requirement for any human being on planet Earth to be allowed to go to vote. Plus, certain courses in history, civic science, and political science. These people could look much deeper into the political world, into the world of politics and different political parties, as well as into the characters of the politicians themselves. These people would represent all of the people, even the ones with a lower IQ, and would make sure that the political arena and the governments are run more efficiently, because they would make also sure that they have certain safety valves in form of gremiums who would overlook the political arena. And if a party is put into power and after 4 or 5 years they have not performed well or even have been corrupt, then of course this party is history and another party will be formed or switched into another party altogether. Corruption in the circles of politics and business would be slowed down to a minimum, and the decision making must become much more sufficient than it is right now, where the upper crust can cheat and manipulate the underprivileged, intellectual underprivileged masses right now. This way, the elite, the very top of the elite, as well as the shadow people behind them, would lose their fear of these brute masses of humans, because they deal only with the crust of 20% of the most intelligent of them who have a certain education in politics. And they could suggest certain changes for the global society, which also would benefit these 20%, of course, and the ones below. This is the suggestion I'm going to make in the following 2 to 3 days, and I will be traveling also thereafter into the further into the east. And I hope some of what I'm telling you right now will be adopted in the future. It will not happen in the next 4, 5, or 10 years, but we can work on it, and this way the whole planet will be saved from ridiculous decision makings in the name of all of the human population. Rudolf of Germany.